Hello, John.
Hello, Ivor.
And today we're going to talk about 50 years of failed climate change predictions.
Yes.
So I'm just going to read you out some of the headlines that have been in the paper going back to 1970.
Yeah.
Okay, and this which just shows that the whole climate change thing is just a complete joke. It's about raising taxes. It's about probably mining in Africa and taking in minerals to make electric cars for the batteries, and
Correct.
Anyway, so I'm going to read out some of them. So in 1967, they said there was going to be a dire famine by 1975 in the world. 1969, everybody will disappear in a cloud of blue steam by 1985. These are all real news headlines, and like the likes of the New York Times, the Guardian, the Examiner.
This is why we can't believe that we read as President Trump calls it fake news.
Yes.
He's very well right, but this is terrible fake. Go ahead.
By 1970, they said there would be an ice age by 2000. In 1970, America is subject to water rationing by 1974 and food rationing by 1980. It never happened. 1971, new ice age is coming. 1972, new ice age by 2070. They really pushed it far out. 1974, new ice age coming fast. It's picking up pace now, okay? Again, it never happens. 1974, and in another paper, another ice age. 1974, ozone depletion, a great peril to life. 1976, an article, the cooling. 1980, acid rain.
The ice age.
What?
They didn't call it the ice age.
No, cool. They were a little bit softer.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were we?
1980.
Yes. Acid rain. 1980. Acid rain kills life in lakes. 1978. No end in sight to 30-year cooling trend. Now they're saying we're warming up. Okay. 1988. James Hansen forecasts increase regional drought in the 1990s. 1988. Washington D.C. days over 90 Fahrenheit from 35 to 85. 1988, Maldives completely underwater in 30 years. 1989, rising seas to obliterate nations by the year 2000. 1989, New York City's West Side Highway underwater by 2019. 1995, someone presented a climate model failure. The year 2000, children won't know what snow is.
Oh, the ice age.
Okay? And so the ice age is now gone. So
Yeah.
okay, now they're saying it's too warm, right? 2004, Britain to have Siberian climate by 2020. Okay, didn't happen. 2008, Arctic will be ice free by 2018. It didn't happen. 2008, Al Gore warns of ice-free Arctic by 2013.
He was going to be a president until he lost by a whisker.
It didn't happen. 2009, Prince Charles says only 8 years to save the planet. Okay. 2009, UK Prime Minister says 50 days to save the planet from catastrophe. They get more and more alarmist as the years go on.
Yeah.
2013, Arctic ice free by 2015. Didn't happen. 2013, Arctic ice free by 2016. Again, it didn't happen. 2014, only 500 days before climate chaos. I mean, these are really sensationalist
Well, they are.
Headlines.
The thing about them is that newspapers thrive on what they might call bad news. And what worse news could you have than an ice age coming immediately, but only around the corner? And then a couple of different predictions from different kind of head cases that just escaped from the lunatic asylum. And this question of another ice age. Then the business said it's going to get cool. And then it's going to get hot. And then you're going to go back and you'll have an Arctic climate like in Britain, like what that means, or like what they have up in the Arctic Circle. And then they said the ice was melting. and the bears that disappear. As a matter of fact, there's more bears up in the Arctic than ever there was, because if the earth is warming a little bit now, forgetting about the ice age, there was an ice age 1,000 years ago, but maybe millions of years ago, but that part is gone, and it often gets cold for a number of years because the earth is revolving around the sun, and there's all sorts of things keeping life together here in the earth. But the ones with the climate are trying to sort of do God's work, and or nature's work rather. And nature will respond the way it will, irrespective of these clowns talking about climate and about ice ages and all sorts of old nonsense, and cities being underwater because the sea is rising. I mean, if you're near the sea and you know nothing about the sea, it goes out and then it comes back in. The tides go in and out and they don't go any further. In Britain they built a lot of towns and places because they're kind of stupid. They built them in low-lying areas where if there's any heavy rain at all, there's going to be a bit of flooding. And
Well, you know what? The builder in that case probably got the site cheap because nobody else wanted
They got
it.
the permission from the local authority, so they're all in the lake together, if you like, or the river that is swollen because the houses are built below the plain. Now, I think like any clown would know that you don't do that kind of thing. You build where you know you're not going to be suffering from if there's a continuous rain, but sometimes you do have. Don't forget, statistically Ireland has 2/3 of the year in rain. That's the statistics, and if it varies a little bit and you have a bit of sunshine, you think you're in the Canaries. And to talk about the climate then when we have a bit of sunshine for a bit. Mm-hmm. There's going to be somebody will make a prediction about the ozone there or something. I don't know as much about it, I think, as the man in the moon. Mm-hmm. Or the cow that jumped over the moon. To me, it's just an exercise in nonsense. It rains when there's clouds. I see there's clouds in the sky at the moment as I look out, and so therefore you're liable to have a supper rain. As a matter of fact, over the Christmas we had quite a supper rain and an odd sunny day, and then it was frosty that night. But the temperature has been around 7 or 8 degrees, and there was once or twice it was 2 and it was -2. But that seems to be the exception. But now you could turn around another couple of years and have real hard winter, which we had some years ago. So it just now follow the weather changes of its own accord, and there's nothing that man can do about it. They can stop and say, supposing every person that had a car got stuck to the floor and didn't drive the car, what the hell difference would it make? It'd mean that he'd have suddenly creaky joints because he'd be walking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So if all cars stopped, where are you going to go then? You're going to go nowhere. You're stuck in the house without a fireplace.
Yeah, the chimneys in the gun.
So you know, drafts coming in, and then if you decide to say you open the window, you'll be blue at the cold. You know where to heat yourself. You know, if they're talking about an ice age or it's getting cooler, it's what we're talking about. Now, we wouldn't believe them, same as you wouldn't believe poor Dimmers in the lunatic asylum. And I think that fellas would have just got out because it's just a rubbish. Like, if it's cloudy, it's going to rain, and if there's a bit of a blue sky, it could get frosty in the winter. In the summertime now, it'll be warm with the sun, because it's more or less in this hemisphere, it's up a bit down, but then it goes down to the end, so you're not going to get heat much in the winter time, in any country. You know, and sometimes you get floods, because weather is unpredictable, and nothing whatsoever to do with the climate.
The thing, what I worry about is that little kids read these headlines, and I do remember in the 1980s that they were talking about a nuclear war.
That's right.
It was always going on between Russia.
Some of them was built in bunkers.
I'm going to talk about the bunker now in a second. So there was always this threat as when you were a little child. You're trying to enjoy your childhood, but then there was always this threat about a nuclear war between Russia and America. So, and you always thought as a little kid that plays in your head in the same way the climate is playing with little children today, and they're all looking at Greta, and they're
That's
all.
right. You've a 15-year-old poor deranged child from Sweden going around and getting listened to because they're all kind of, there's an agenda at work here. And so it's a form of raising taxes and alarming people because that's the only thing they're good at. This is why we're talking about ice ages and all the rest of it. So now you have a kid doing the same thing. It's the same old, what would they call it, song. And the best thing is to pass to Nora Margaret and just sort of say, well, thanks be to God, I'm not suffering from that disease. Because it is a disease.
I seen in the paper.
Mind.
I seen in the paper the other day, and it said that some author said that when you make children our leaders, as in Greta, the world is in trouble.
Of course it's in trouble. It shows you that they don't know what they're at all.
Yes.
And it just gives you an idea that all these experts are not experts at all.
That's it.
That's what they're at. But when you look at actually the result of what they predicted, as you've just done there now, in all these frights that were given people that would believe in such nonsense. Like if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe in, when you reach a certain age, you don't believe in fairy tales. You don't believe that the cow jumped over the moon. And all these little stories, Little Red Riding Hood and that, and the three bears in the bed, and who's at my porridge, and all this sort of stuff. But you believe them and that, and I used to love them stories, and all this sort of Hopalong Cassidy running after in the paper, running after the robber, and then getting him and sort of cornering them, and they said to him, go on places Gilgore, this is the thief, and he had a six-shooter out. Gilgore was caught red-handed. So that's the way they all ended happy. Now, these are just fables. Charlie Chaplin did a lot of running around when he was a comedian, like comedies, and it was just fables. And so the climate business is a fable as well. And the poor dibbles, the children now are being the same as you were when you were young. Now, I don't remember hearing any of that nonsense when I was young.
Yeah. So there we go. Thanks very much, John.
Yes, thanks.